Now, you said that there is no connection, Satish, between the two cases. The NCB, the drugs use is a separate case. Sushant Singh's death is a different case. But Mr. Sushant Singh's lawyer, Vikas Singh, today tried to find a connection between the two cases. He said that while he thought that the Narcotics Bureau case was weak, and I'm quoting him verbatim, he said the real question is, did Rhea give drugs to Sushant without his knowledge? Now, I'm just quoting Vikas Singh here. It's not what I think. I think a grown man is responsible for his own choices. But this is the question that Sushant Singh's lawyer has asked. So therefore, is the worst over for your client, or will you still find that Mr. Sushant Singh Rajput's family and his lawyer will try and blame Rhea Chakraborty for Sushant Singh Rajput's drug habit?
Well, one thing is for certain. I have learned right from my childhood that empty vessels make more noise. So you must realize who is making more noise now. Apart from all that, Sushant Singh Rajput was not a thumb-sucking child. He was a 34-year-old grown-up man who was used to drugs much earlier before Rhea Chakraborty came in his life. He himself used to tell his servants to make ganja joints for him. And it cannot be said that Rhea Chakraborty ever gave him any drugs. Apart from all that, the doctors who prescribed medicinal drugs, pharmaceutical drugs to him for the purpose of his mental health had warned him not to consume any narcotic substances. In spite of that, in spite of the written instructions from the doctors, in spite of being told a number of times, he chose to consume drugs along with his medicines. At some time, he even gave up his medicinal drugs which were being prescribed by the doctors. And to such an extent, on the 8th of June, the cause for Rhea to quit the house was because Sushant Singh told her to get out. Because when Rhea Chakraborty came to know that he was messaging with his sister for the purpose of getting some prescriptions from doctors who were not consulting him, she put her foot down and told him that there is a prescription given to you by doctors in Bombay. Why don't you follow that advice? In spite of that, he fought with her and told his sister to send a prescription from Delhi. His sister got a bogus prescription from Delhi from one of the hospitals, Ram Manohar Lohia Hospital, and gave it to him. And that doctor is a physician or a surgeon and prescribed drugs, because these drugs are scheduled drugs under the NDPS Act. Only a qualified person who is authorized to give mental health drugs can prescribe them. And they made a bogus document to say that Sushant Singh Rajput was being treated as an outpatient department, and therefore his presence was shown in Delhi when he was in Bombay during the pandemic, and sent a bogus prescription. So Rhea Chakraborty has filed a complaint that because of the cocktail of the illegally administered drugs and the narcotic substances that he was consuming, the death was caused. So it is the sisters who need to be investigated and not Rhea Chakraborty.
I asked you this the last time you were on our channel Mojo, Satish, and you said, I'll first get Rhea out on bail and then I'll answer this question. Now is the time for this question, and it's coming from our audience. Will you be suing all the TRP channels for character defamation of Rhea?
Well, the first thing is that Rhea is out now. She's still facing one more case. That is the CBI investigations. ET has almost cleared her because they said that they conducted a forensic audit of the accounts and they have not found any illegal misappropriation of any funds from the accounts of Sushant Singh Rajput. So once this case, Sushant Singh Rajput's death, has been solved, she will take appropriate action against all these goons. Sorry to have called your brothers goons.
I have no solidarity in this particular case with, I don't even call them journalists. So you're free to call them what you want to, because as a woman, I feel very strongly that she's been absolutely vilified. And I remember by contrast, male stars like Fardeen Khan, who were picked up for cocaine, they made bail in 5 days. Yes. Now, there are persistent questions about the role of the media, and you've called them goons and you said, I'll take action against them. What action are you thinking? Because Gurdeep Singh is saying that Mashinde, you should have taken the media and made it a party in the court. Why didn't you do that?
Well, I had made them a party. I had made an allegation against them in the Supreme Court. The learned judge who transferred the case, who accorded sanction for the CBI investigation uh, from Patna to CBI, did not
Yeah.
even utter a word. I hope someday some judge will take up my cause and deliver justice to us.
Tell me what you think about politics, the political backdrop, the Mumbai police being attacked today, the Mumbai police chief saying, I'm being vindicated, the Bihar DGP leaving to participate in elections. How much of what's going on, in your opinion, is political?
Well, you see, when I was in school, I was taught that politics is the last resort of scoundrels. So I feel the present political system is made up of scoundrels who use bogus claims, who use bogus allegations to further their political ambitions. For example, if you see, can anybody use the death of a person in a city like Bombay, in a far-off place like Patna, and make it an election issue? Can somebody put a poster on their walls to say that we are fighting for your justice? Is it something accepted in a normal society, in a moralistic society? It's hitting below the belt, and they are using the family of Sushant Singh Rajput to further their political ends. And I'm sure someday the voter will give them a proper answer.
Now, we have 3-4 minutes left with you, and therefore let me ask you and use this well to say, what do you think is the challenge ahead? Because the politics you refer to still remains alive. The agencies that you spoke about in your statement are still on her tail. And the fact is that Mr. Sushant Singh Rajput's family is still targeting her. Do you think Rhea Chakraborty has basically become a pawn for men in her life? On the one hand, Sushant Singh Rajput, the man she had a relationship with. On the other hand, her brother. And I ask this because her brother has not got bail, and you are also suggesting that her brother's role may have been different.
Well, right from the inception of mankind, particularly in India,
Yeah.
a woman has been treated unfairly in India. She has been treated as a weaker section in the society. It's only now that women have come up and fought their battles with the male-dominated society. If you look at the case in UP, if you look at case in Mumbai where, Rhea Chakraborty is facing, the treatment is almost similar. The effect may be different. If they kill that poor girl after committing rape on her, allegedly, this has happened in a large number of cases. But as far as Rhea Chakraborty is concerned, you're flogging her in her lifetime. Is it justice? And can you see the media channels going after her? If a man is arrested for drugs, he is glorified. He is, celebrated as a person who has given up drugs in life. If a lady, if she dances on the street in a movie, her dancing pictures or poses or actions became a point of ridicule on the TV screens. Is it something that is acceptable in a moralistic society, that you treat a woman so badly? She could be somebody's sister, she could be somebody's mother, she could be somebody's daughter. Will you do the same thing with your own female, members in your own family?